We are Onyx Imaging. We are the highest rated and most reviewed printer service center in Oklahoma.
Hi, my name is John with Onyx Imaging, and today we're going to take a look at this HP LaserJet M604 printer, and we're going to talk about some common causes of paper jams. More specifically, we're going to talk about some common causes of paper jams that are caused because of issues inside of the paper tray. So let me go ahead and remove the paper tray. I'm also going to remove the paper that's inside of the paper tray, just so we can look at the bottom here and get a better idea of what we're talking about. Now if you look inside the bottom of this paper tray, you'll see these three gray adjusting tabs, and what those are for is for adjusting this paper tray for the specific size paper that you're using inside this paper tray. So inside of here you'll see different markings both for the height and width of your paper, and you're going to want to set those for the size paper that you're using, and it's very important to make sure they're set directly on the indication for that size paper. The reason that's important is if you have this set for a piece of paper that's too small than the paper you're actually using, it can squeeze the paper inside of this paper tray and cause it to be way too difficult for the printer to pick up and pull through the printer. And if you have this set for a piece of paper that's larger than the paper that you're actually using, then it's going to cause the paper to be too loose inside this paper tray, and it'll be able to shift back and forth in there, and the printer's going to have a hard time picking it up and pulling it through the printer properly. So either one of those is going to give you paper jam errors. Very important, make sure all these adjusting tabs are set for the correct size piece of paper that you're using in this paper tray. So now that we have the paper tray set correctly for the right size paper that we're using, now one of the other more common things that we see is an issue from adding paper inside the paper tray. So what happens is you have a little bit of paper still inside your paper tray, and you have your new stack of paper, and as you set it on top and kind of slide it or push it back into the paper tray, some of the paper will kind of curl up back behind it. So you end up with this little paper curl right at the back of the paper tray. So what happens is when that paper curls up behind there, it squeezes all those top sheets of papers above it and causes it to begin to be way too tight inside that paper tray. And then again, the printer has a hard time picking that up. So very important, whenever you add paper into your paper tray, just give it a quick visual inspection and make sure it's a nice, clean, even stack on all four sides. You don't have any paper curled up anywhere. If you do, just take a second, remove that out of there. It'll go a long way as far as reducing the amount of paper jams you're getting, just by making sure that it's a nice even stack inside your paper tray. Another thing that we see quite frequently is from overfilling the paper tray. Nobody wants to have to stop in the middle of a print job and have to add paper into the printer, so it's very common that people try to squeeze as much paper into this paper tray as humanly possible. However, if you notice on those gray adjusting tabs, there's a couple little flags or like little tabs that stick in towards the paper tray. What those are for, those are your maximum fill like lines or guides. Very important not to fill past that, or basically still fill past it and just try to push the edges of paper underneath there thinking that's going to be okay. What happens is even if you can press the edges of paper just underneath there, it'll kind of hump up here in the middle, and it causes the paper to sit too high inside the paper tray and too tight up against the paper pickup assembly, and the printer has a really hard time pulling that paper through. So really important, please do not overfill your paper tray. Generally, I would say it's a good idea to leave a small gap between the top of these little fill lines and your top sheet of paper. It can go a long way as far as reducing the amount of paper jams you're getting, and it's a really simple thing to fix. Now, if all three of those have been checked and you're still getting paper jams and you can't figure out why, if you've had this printer for a while and you use it pretty heavily, there's a good chance that the rollers that actually pick up the paper and pull it through the printer have been worn out and need to be replaced. And if that's the issue, please feel free to give Onyx a call, and we'd love to help take care of that for you. Also, if there's any other questions or concerns, please feel free to reach out to Onyx. We'd love to help answer those for you. And if there's any way we can help supply with any of your office or toner supply needs, we would love to help supply this for you as well. Other than that, we hope you have a great day in your backup and printing. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. If you're interested in how you can receive free labor on all of your service calls, as well as how to qualify for free printer upgrades, contact us today. We are here for all of your printer and office supply needs.